Okay, everyone, let's talk about the Constitution and how it sets up our government. All right, so the first three articles of the Constitution lay out the three. Article 1 is legislative, 2 is executive, and Article 3 is the look at the legislative branch. Okay, so Article 1. Okay, Congress. Congress makes up the legislative branch. Congress is by meaning two houses. So there's the House of Representatives and the Senate. Okay, Congress is the whole thing. House of Representatives and the Senate. That's what makes up the legislative branch. Okay. House of Representatives mainly deals. The whole point of the House of Representatives is that it focuses on domestic policy. is that it focuses on domestic, okay? Special roles that the House has, okay? If there is an electoral tie, the House votes for the president, okay? If there is impeachment, the House brings up the charges, okay? So House mainly is supposed to focus on domestic policy, okay? Roles to the House, okay? If there is a electoral tie, the House votes for the president, okay? In any articles of impeachment are first drafted in the House. So the House brings up the articles of impeachment, okay? The Senate's main purview is foreign policy, okay? The way it was set up, the Senate's main purview is foreign policy, okay? Tie is going to elect the vice president. The Senate holds the trial for any impeachment, okay? And the power that, it actually uses the most, that is special only to the Senate, is the fact that the Senate confirms appointments. The Senate confirms presidential appointments. Only the Senate confirms presidential appointments. Okay, only the Senate. I cannot emphasize that enough. Only the Senate confirms appointments. Okay. Concurrent would be what both the House and the Senate are able to do: pass laws. Okay, they can both pass laws, or pass bills, I should say. Okay, they can both investigate. They can both hold hearings. Okay, so main powers of the legislative branch: pass bills, investigate, hold hearings. Okay. Oversee the federal budget. Okay, both oversee the differences in electing members of Congress. Okay, you can see this up here in this lovely little chart. Okay, now this is what it is today. So different numbers back then. House, you're elected every 2 years. Senate, you're elected every 6 years. Okay, you have to be at least 25 in the House and at least 30 in the Senate. Okay. House is was the most democratic of all the original institutions, because the House is the only one directly elected by the people. Okay, the House of Representatives was the only one directly elected by the people. Okay, the Senate, the party leaders of each state chose, but prior to the 17th Amendment, which we'll get to. Prior to the 17th Amendment, it was the party leaders of each state chose who would run for the Senate. Now, the people got to vote for those two people, but you had no choice of, there wasn't any problem. All right, Article 2. the executive branch, okay? The executive branch is made up of the president and the bureaucracy, okay? The president and the bureaucracy. President is the head of the executive branch. He's the head of the federal government, okay? And then all of the federal agencies, which there weren't that many, you know, when we start, hell of a lot right now, okay? That's the executive branch, okay? Powers given to the executive branch. Well, the president can issue executive orders. President can issue executive orders. Those are orders that have the force of law but do not require congressional approval. So the president can issue executive orders. He can appoint people to office. So he can appoint judges, he can appoint heads of agencies, he can appoint heads of military, okay? The president can sign or veto a law, right? The president can sign or veto a law, all right? The president can remove people, position, any appointed position he can remove with the exception of judges. Judges are appointed for life. Okay, so those are some of the powers given to the executive branch. All right. How is the executive branch chosen? Well, formally, the executive branch is chosen not by a popular vote, but by the Electoral College. So the Electoral College is a way to insulate the president, choosing of the president from the masses. Okay, like I said, the House of Reps was the most democratic of all the original institutions. Okay, so the founders are like, all right, look, the Electoral College is what formally chooses the president. Okay, so the Electoral College is going to look at they're going to base their decision off of the popular vote of each state, but we're not totaling all the votes as one. Okay, so if we take a look, all right, a couple things here, all right. You need to have a majority of the to win. You need to have a majority of the Electoral College votes to be named president. The number of Electoral College votes is equal. The number of Electoral College votes is equal to the number of representatives you have in Congress. The number of Electoral College votes you have is equal to the number of representatives you have in Congress. All right. Maryland right now has 10 Electoral College votes, 8 House districts, and 2 senators. Okay, 8 plus 2. All right. Minimum number of Electoral College votes is 3, because you would have 2 senators and then at least 1 representative. Okay. We are going to stop there before we get into the next one.